Hey, good morning, everybody. We're streaming live, just so you're aware. Sorry, shortly. Vancouver police are seeking the public's help to find a 25-year-old Thomas Joseph Lloyd Brown. He's currently wanted for a serious assault. On March 17th, Brown went to a family gathering near Statlow Avenue and Crown Street on the Musqueam territory. Just after 10 p.m., he was involved in an altercation with another man, allegedly stabbing him. The man sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Brown is wanted Canada-wide for aggravated assault, assault with a weapon, and assault causing bodily harm in relation to this stabbing. Thomas Brown is Aboriginal, 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing 201 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He has several tattoos, including the initials RA tattooed on his left forearm, WS on his right forearm, TB on his right hand, and life tattooed on his left hand fingers. If you see Brown, call 911 and do not approach him. Anyone with information about Thomas Brown's whereabouts is asked to call 911 or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-800-8477. Thank you. Any questions regarding this release?
How did you pinpoint him as a suspect in this?
The investigators, we're not asking for further information at this point, but they have evidence to swear in information and get a warrant. We won't get into the specifics of the evidence that they have, as that's before the courts right now, but we do have a warrant on the system for him.
Can you tell us more about what happened that day or that night when this assault happened?
This is all we're willing to release at this time because it's going to go before the court shortly. So we are again asking and appealing to the public for anybody that has information as to where he is located to call us immediately.
Do you believe he's from Vancouver?
He's from Vancouver?
Do you believe he's from Vancouver, you said?
We believe he is from Vancouver, yes.
You said Mr. Brown was there for a family gathering of sorts. What's the relationship between him and the victim?
We're not releasing that right now, but we are prepared to say that this is not a random attack.
Does he know the police?
I don't have that information right now.
Can you say anything to motive? What sparked the altercation? Anything of that sort? Whether it was confined to one space, whether it happened outside, indoors?
Yeah, all those will all form part of the investigation.
The fact that it's Canada-wide, do you believe he could be, where do you think he is?
Right now, we just said he's wanted for a serious assault. I don't believe it is Canada-wide. I believe it's BC-wide warrant.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll just pause momentarily before I get into the next release. Okay. An update today where we've made an arrest on the unprovoked assaults that have happened on Vancouver's west side. Vancouver police have arrested 39-year-old Colin Ackway from Coquitlam in connection to a series of unprovoked attacks on Vancouver's west side. Acting on a tip from the public, investigators identified Mr. Ackway, and just after 3 p.m. yesterday, he was arrested in Coquitlam. Investigators are continuing to piece the evidence together and determine a motive for these crimes. Ackway is charged with 1 count of assault and 1 count of assault with a weapon. Further charges are expected, and he remains in custody. Thank you.
Surgeon, is Atway the man that was originally released in the photos of these assaults when you updated us on it a couple weeks ago?
We believe that is him, yes.
And trying to piece together a motive, these all happened in public places, convenience stores, sidewalks. No one was robbed, so what appears to be the reasons behind some of these attacks?
Yeah, our investigators are still working diligently to try and uncover a motive in here, and right now it is just not clear what the motive actually was.
Were these believed to be random or targeted?
Random.
How many assaults in total?
We have 4 assaults in total.
Do you believe the same person could be responsible for more? Are you still asking for people to come forward?
Yeah, we're always asking for anybody to come forward that feels they are the victim of any crime, including this crime in particular. We said at the original release that any one of these crimes on their own would not be cause for concern, or somebody may dismiss them. But when you put them all together, it acts for more concern. And anybody that wants to call us, please do so.
Assault with a weapon, you said?
Yeah, assault with a weapon, just the circumstances of one of the assaults. The investigators were able to lay a charge for assault with a weapon. We don't have that information right now. That'll form part of the investigation. It's before the courts at this time, so we're not prepared to release any further information on circumstances.
How are the victims of these attacks? Are they any update on possible injuries? Or?
Well, what I can say about the victims is they're very minor physical injuries, but of course there's other injuries associated to this, emotional injuries and things like that. So we always keep that into consideration, and we're fortunate that nobody was harmed seriously physically.
Any priors here? Was that way on your radar or RCMP's radar?
I don't have that information right now, but we are looking at all possibilities, and right now it's in the works. Investigators are currently looking at his background and obviously working hard to try and get a motive for these.
Can you just recap these attacks, kind of where and when they happened?
Sure. I can go back to the original release here. The first two were on February the 5th, one just before and one just after 5 p.m. The next incident was on February 22nd, just after 10 p.m., and the last one happened on February 24th, just after midnight. In each case, the suspect would approach the victim in a public place, such as a sidewalk or a convenience store, without provocation, would either punch, elbow, or push the victim before walking away.
Is he the only one that you're looking for?
Right now, we're not looking for anybody else in relation to these crimes.
Can you remind us where they happened?
Sure. The areas were West 2nd Avenue in Burrard, West Broadway in Elma, Granville Street and West Broadway, West Broadway and Laurel Street. Essentially the west side of Vancouver.
So the photo release in the last press conference about this case, the photo of a black male, do you believe that's him?
That is correct. We received several tips from the public regarding those photos and regarding our previous media release, and those tips have led us to the arrest.
And you said more charges are likely?
More charges are likely, and investigators are still continuing with their investigation. Right now, he's been charged with 2 counts of assault-related crimes.
Any other charges you recommend?
I believe so. Like I said, we anticipate further charges in relation to this case.
Can you say whether the 2 charges right now are isolated to one of those incidents, or one each of 2 of the 4? Or
I don't have that information. It's currently ongoing and will be before the courts. Thank you. Sure. Sure.
I just want to go back to the first case, Brown, and the blood stabbing there. Asking for public health, do you believe there's a public safety risk here?
Right now, the investigators have information to believe this was an isolated incident. What I can tell you is that our investigators have put up the public safety camera trailer, and it will remain in the Musqueam territory until Brown is caught. So we're doing that as a precaution, but we do feel that this incident was isolated.
How unusual is it for you guys to put up a trailer like that on territory?
It's not unusual for us to put these cameras up. We're using them more and more in all types of investigations, so the camera in itself is not unusual for us to use as an investigative aid.
And are you getting cooperation from the victim and witnesses in that case?
We have enough information to lay charges to Crown Counsel, who have approved 3 charges against him. I'll just go over those charges again. He's wanted Canada-wide for aggravated assault, assault with a weapon, and assault causing bodily harm in relation to this event. So Crown Counsel has reviewed the evidence, and it has submitted this for a Canada-wide warrant, which he's currently wanted on.
Any update on the missing Chinese white mother? No?
We have no update in that investigation. It's currently ongoing.
And for the assault in Toronto, Mississauga against the autism man, is any update on that?
Yeah, we've had a few requests from media here locally regarding that, and we've directed all media inquiries to the Peel Regional Police Force. That crime occurred in their jurisdiction, and they are the lead investigators and the lead police agency on this investigation. So we're just asking anybody to reach out to them.
Are you in any way assisting them, trying to locate those three suspects, or
Well,
trying to find out their identity?
What I can tell you is we had information that the suspects were possibly from BC, and I've heard updates in media releases that they're possibly from the BC area, possibly been identified. The Vancouver Police, we have retweeted a tweet from Peel Regional Police Force to assist in their investigation.
Our cameras were there yesterday afternoon. Georgia and Broward, there was a mugging outside an RBC bank. We saw DPD take someone into custody. What can you tell us about the suspect and what happened there?
I do know our officers attended that location, and I was just reading briefly here. They managed to make an arrest in that case, but is still under investigation and too early to tell all the circumstances in relation to that. We do know that, fortunately, no one was injured in that, and we had some help from some citizens and some good Samaritans. But the investigation is ongoing.
Anything further you can say about the suspect in this case?
I don't have that information about who he is, other than he was identified and the officers were able to identify him at the scene. He was arrested for an unrelated matter, and the investigation into the theft of the money is still under investigation.
And still in custody?
I don't know if he's still in custody or not, but he has been identified. And all parties were uninjured, and all parties have been identified. What I can tell you is there was some money taken, and it has been since returned to the rightful owner. Okay, thank you very much.